All right, last video for this week will be solving equations and inequalities with variables on both sides. So if you look at our equation and our inequality, once again, they're exactly the same, except for on the left, it's an equal sign, an equation, and on the right, we have it where it says greater than or equal to. Now, I'm going to do this kind of in a weird way. I'm going to solve these two different ways. And I'm going to show that we get the exact same answer. It really doesn't matter which way we kind of start to solve this. Okay? On the equation side, I'm going to solve this the way I think most of us prefer to solve this. So here we go. We're going to draw our line down our equal sign. Let's start with using the y term. Okay? We need to subtract 3y from both of these sides. Remember, when we subtract something with our variable, our y, we have to keep it with the stuff that has a y. So 3y minus 3y makes 0. Okay? And all we're left with now is a minus 5 or a negative 5. On the other side, that's a 1y minus 3y will actually make negative 2y. And notice we still have the plus 13. But here's our two-step equation, if you will, that we've been solving. So now the inverse of positive 13 would be negative 13 from both of those sides. Positive 13 and negative 13 make 0. We're left with negative 2y, and a negative 5 and a negative 13 make negative 18. The final step then would be to divide by negative 2 from both sides. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 makes 1, so we're left with y equals, and negative 18 divided by a negative 2 actually is going to give us positive 9. So the answer to this solution is going to be positive 9. Or in this case, because it's an equation, y equals positive 9. Now, on the next side, I'm going to try to show a couple different things all at the same time. Some of you might not like that we had to deal with the negatives. Please note that we can combine these like terms really kind of in any order and any direction we want, as long as we're using inverse operations and combining the like terms. So let's draw our line down our inequality, our greater than or equal to. And instead of subtracting 3y, let's start with subtracting the 1y from both sides. Okay? That'll allow our 1y's to cancel or make 0. And on the other side, 3y minus 1y is a positive 2y. We still have 2y minus 5 on one side, and we still have the positive 13 on the other side. Now what would we do? Well, to get y by itself, we're going to actually add 5 to both sides. Negative 5 and positive 5 make 0. 13 plus 5 makes positive 18. On the other side, we're left with 2y. And now the final step will be to divide by 2, which makes 1. And divide by 2, do 18 divided by 2. That makes positive 9 is greater than or equal to y. Notice both ways, we got a number of positive 9. So it doesn't matter which way you start off. Right? You're going to get the same answer if you do all the right math. The difference will be, notice with the inequality, I never had to deal with a negative. So what I ended up now not having to worry about is, should I flip that inequality or not? It's up to you. It's whatever you prefer to do. But I like to keep positives because I think those are easier to deal with. And so I can solve it this way. Now, when we go to graph this, though, because I kind of did it backwards, because my y is on the right side of my inequality is kind of worded backwards. This says 9 is greater than or equal to y. So 9 is the biggest number, and my variable of y has to either be equal to 9 or has to be everything smaller So let's go ahead and set up our number line. And I want to go ahead and set it up as 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Like always, we'll put our circle at our number of positive 9. Then, because we have the or equal to, yeah, we have to shade that circle in. Got to be a closed circle. And now again, I need you to think of what's kind of going on. That says 9 is greater than or equal to y. So 9 has to be the biggest number. Y is everything smaller than 9 or less than 9, which means when I shade these, I need to shade towards the side less than 9. So the 8 and the 7 and the 6 and so on and so forth down to the 5 and on. So just keep in mind, what I want you to notice is, hey, with variables on both sides, it really doesn't matter which direction we start moving everything in. We'll end up with the same answer. The catch here is going to be, hey, do we have to worry about the negatives or not the negatives? But then you also have to worry about which side of our inequality does our variable end up on. Just make sure that with the inequalities, you say them out loud and give yourself something to think about. Hey, where's my number? And is my variable going to be the stuff that's greater than that number